The towering doors creak open, spilling golden light across polished marble as the throne room stretches out before you in regal silence. Columns etched with faded murals rise like guardians on either side, while incense smoke coils lazily beneath the vaulted ceiling. At the far end, seated upon a gilded throne, the ruler fixes you with an unblinking gaze, as courtiers and armored guards turn to watch your every step. Brave souls, ye stand before me in my time of dire need. A crimson terror haunts my lands, a red dragon whose fire has reduced villages to ash, and whose wings blot out the very sun. I call upon your courage and your steel to strike down this beast, for only with your aid my people may know peace once more. Do this, my gratitude, my kingdom's treasures, they shall all be yours. What say ye?
My player wouldn't care. I'm gonna go loot the royal treasury instead.
The king's treasury? The one that's heavily guarded?
Whatever, I'll go pickpocket the king.
Okay, go ahead, roll. With a 5, you trip into the king's lap, and you are now surrounded by guards. Good job.
This game is so stupid, my character wouldn't even be here. Why are we even doing a dragon quest anyway? It's so boring.
Yep, that's me, the Laughing Lantern. You're probably wondering how our game got to this moment, and more importantly, how you can avoid being that player. Stick around for 8 tips on how to make your DM love you, in a platonic please don't kill my character kind of way. Trust me, you don't want your DM giving you that look.
Hey there adventurers, the Laughing Lantern here. Welcome to How to Make Your DM Love You, where we mix sage advice with a dash of comedy, maybe a fireball or two. If you've ever seen your DM do the slow facepalm, silently plot your demise, this video is for you, or maybe for someone else. Today I have 8 genuinely useful tips to turn you or a loved one from a party pooper to one of your DM's favorite players. And no, it's not about bribing them with pizza or shiny dice, though it might help. We're talking real Dungeons & Dragons pro tips, from respecting your DM's hard work to embracing epic failure. By the end of this, your Dungeon Master should be smiling like a bard who just learned Vicious Mockery. So grab your character sheet, take some notes. No, seriously, that's tip number 8, and let's dive in. Does a natural 2 get me a like? No? Okay, well let's dive in.
Your DM probably spent hours, if not days, crafting the adventure, writing story arcs, drawing maps, painting minis, and maybe creating NPCs with funny accents.
Oi, governor!
Respecting the prep means acknowledging that hard work. Look, if your DM unveils a gorgeous map or a plot hook, don't immediately torch it with off-the-wall plans just to troll it. By all means, be creative, but work with the adventure your DM prepared. Don't murder the quest giver, don't insist on befriending the random squirrel, at least not every time, and please don't burn down the town just because you can. Save your DM's sanity and their storyline by showing a little appreciation. Nod along, say, cool, let's go to the ruins, even if your edgy rogue secretly wants to pickpocket peasants. Your DM will silently thank you instead of silently plotting your TPK. Tip 2. Drive the story forward. In D&D, the DM sets up the world, but the players are the people who propel the story. Don't just sit there like a tavern patron nursing his ale, waiting for the plot to bite you. Take action. The 3 of you stand before a mysterious door inside of the crypt. Strange noises echo behind it. As you approach, you hear muffled cries for help behind the door. What do? I inspect the door for traps. Alright, roll investigation. I got a 10. You find that the door has no traps, but you do hear the cries grow louder.
I would like to check for any magical traps. Everyone, someone is literally dying in there. Let's go.
In your opinion, who do you think slowed the game down? Was it the person checking for traps, or was it the wizard checking for arcane traps? If you said arcane traps, then you would be right. When the players hear that the cries grow louder, that should be a call to action. The DM is trying to say, hey, there's no traps. Let's keep moving, guys. Let's save the damsel in distress, or let's save the town elder from the monster. While in this case, it's harmless, if it happens time and time again, it really can slow a game down. And DMs, if you're actively trying to hurt your players at every turn, don't be surprised if they act like this. Tip number 3, share the spotlight. This is what I see the most in D&D. D&D is a team game, not a one-man show starring just you. Even if you're a charismatic bard with a triple platinum backstory, you gotta let others shine. In other words, don't hog the spotlight. You find yourself at the end of the royal hall. You've come to find the stern diplomat you were looking for, the one who holds the key to safe passage through the enemy lands. What do? Bard, how about you go first?
My lord, surely peace is in your best interest. Together our forces can prevent unnecessary bloodshed. All that we ask is a treaty of safe passage.
Or we break your legs and take what we want.
The diplomat recoils in horror.
Exit the building at once. Gods, Bruce, we had that handled.
Yep, that's one way to steal the spotlight and ruin your party's plan in the process. Diplomacy scenes are fun, but if someone else is leading, let them have their moment. Jumping in with a totally different vibe can derail the whole scene. DMs love when players support each other and each other's playstyles, instead of stepping on them. Most of the time, people will do it out of excitement rather than the intention to derail the scene. Also, each game is different. Each DM operates things differently, but talk to your players and see what they're comfortable with. Tip 4 is to embrace failure. Yes, I know nobody likes to fail, unless you're a secret masochistic dice goblin, but in D&D, failure can be hilarious, and sometimes lead to the best story moments of the game. I've seen it turn into sacrifice, funny moments, and really gut-wrenching moments. So when your dice curse you, embrace it. The climb has been brutal. Jagged stones beneath your boots, icy wind howling in your ears, and a gray sky split by distant lightning. Yet as you draw near, something shifts. The biting cold begins to fade, replaced by suffocating heat that rolls off the giant man in front of you, as though his very body feels the storm swirling around him.
So, the heroes finally arrive. I wondered how long it would take before you stumbled into my hall, weighed down by your hollow victories and cheap bravado. You think yourselves saviors? Champions? You are children playing at war, puppets dancing on strings you cannot even see. Every step you've taken, I allowed. Every foe you've slain, I placed before you like scraps to keep you hungry. And now you come before me, expecting to end what I have built? Pathetic. I'll strip away your courage, peel back your illusions, and show you the truth. That all your strength, all your hope, all your precious light was never yours to begin with.
Okay. Rogue, your initiative is up. Let's go. Alright, I want to sneak attack him. Okay, give me a roll. Ooh, that's nat 1. Okay, he immediately notices the attack and dodges out of the way and grabs the sharp end of the knife. He cocks his head over towards you and says, I see all. Your pins and needles will do nothing to me. Okay, I know this is a little out of the ordinary, but can I roll a performance check to distract him? Catch him while he's monologuing? Honestly, yeah. Let's see it. Huh. That is a 27. Good, that's great. He continues monologuing while staring at you, gloating in the moment, as if he is going to revel the moment that he strikes you down. Everybody else, you get advantage on your next attack. Good job, Rogue. Yes! Seriously, it's okay to fail, guys. In fact, lean into it. A spectacular failure can become a party legend. When your character fails, stay in character and roll with it. Try not to sulk and argue with the dice, and definitely don't rage quit. DMs love players who can take the flop and turn it into something fun. If you laugh instead of lament, your DM will happily incorporate your antics into the story. Or at least they should. This all leads us into tip number 5. Be helpful outside the dice. Now, what does this mean? Your usefulness as a player doesn't just equate to how well you roleplay or the damage that you roll. It's helping out with the many things that the DM may be juggling. The easier you make it on your DM, the easier of a time they'll have explaining the story. If a DM says it's time for combat, then offer to pick up the battle map and roll it out. If there's a rules issue and the DM is frantically searching through his pages, search too. Help him out. This one's kind of my pet peeve, but if there's snacks and litter just thrown all about, offer to pick it up. Although I am hosting almost all of the time, I am generally the one picking up. And I don't mind doing that, it's just the little things that make me happy. This leads us to tip number 6, which is one of my favorites. Theory crafting. If you don't know what theory crafting is, it's when the players don't know for sure what's going on in the plot, and they start making up theories and conspiracies about what they've learned and what they've gathered, and then trying to make sense of it. As a DM, it's such a fulfilling thing to sit there and watch your players try and scope out what's going on when you know what's actually going on. And I'm gonna out myself right now. Sometimes I listen to what they say and I completely reroute the entire story just to fulfill that. But just make sure, DMs, that you don't do it too often. Otherwise, it becomes too predictable. Now, within moderation, This is a good thing. If it's happening all the time, it can lead us back to tip number 2. Is their theory correct? Probably not. Does the DM love it? Yeah. I know some DMs don't like when their players are too keen on what's going on in the plot, or they have a weird beef with the note takers. I generally don't think that's a good sign of a DM, but me personally, I love when players take an interest in the game I've created. And DMs, if your players are doing that right now, then you're running a fantastic game. Pat yourself on the back. Also, players, don't get too attached to theories. No matter how much you want to will it into existence, you just need to trust in the plot and drive the story forward. Tip number 2. I'm going to briefly pass over tip number 7 because this is kind of obvious, but I'll kind of give a little bit of an example. Tip number 7 is work together, not compete. This happened a couple of times where I've had players want to do something and then it becomes sort of a competition, and then the atmosphere gets a little tense. You're a party, not contestants voting each other off the island in the latest episode of Survival Faerun. Do the opposite. Work together. Pull crazy stunts. Do combo moves if your DMs allow it. Or sit down and come up with elaborate plans together. You'll find that the more you work together, the more things you create and the better time you'll have. Lastly, we got tip number 8, guys. Note-taking, remembering the lore. My wife, she is a fantastic note-taker. She has everything written down, every theory, every recipe or custom homebrew that I've created, and sometimes it's bit me in the butt, but most of the time it's a welcome thing. Believe it or not, sometimes players slowly start to forget what the plot is about, especially if it takes too long through too many shopping episodes, or the arc kind of taking a turn that the DM didn't expect. The note takers and the lore keepers will generally rope everybody back in and remind them of what's going on, and that is an awesome thing. You note takers are a blessing to us DMs. Remember, being a great player isn't just about maxing out damage or having a great one-liner, it's about you making the game more fun for everybody involved, especially the poor soul behind the DM screen. It's been such a pleasure making this video for you guys, no matter how small the following. I'm only at 500 subscribers at the recording of this video. I'm pretty sure 90% of the people who watch my video don't subscribe. But if you like this kind of stuff, if you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. Laughing Lantern, signing off.